Like a sculptor's marble, Sharon Stone was once polished to perfection, ice-pick poised in basic instinct. Now at 67, her silver crop and sharp suits speak not of seduction, but survival. After strokes and studio silence, she paints, writes, and champions brain injury awareness with unapologetic grace. America's sweetheart and pretty woman, Julia Roberts once lit red carpets with megawatt charm. Now 57, her curls are looser, laughter lines deeper, but her roles are smarter, scarcer by choice. In an era of endless content, she stepped back, raised teens, and returned only for stories that match her fire. Picture Demi Moore shaving her head in G.I. Jane, rebel carved from steel. Today, at 62, she walks Paris runways in flowing silks, grace streaks bold, spine straighter than ever. She survived tabloids, loss, and reinvention, producing indie films and investing in wellness ventures that empower women beyond the lens. Once racing buses in speed, Sandra Bullock now moves with quiet determination, her cropped hair streaked with silver, her roles fewer but deeper. Once America's rom-com queen, she's pivoted, producing, parenting, and stepping back from the spotlight on her own bold terms. When Harry Met Sally made her the heartbeat of 90s romance. Today, Meg Ryan, softer spoken, with tousled curls and a director's vision, crafts stories behind the lens. No longer center stage, she edits scripts not me cuties, reminding Hollywood that transformation begins with voice. Like a rare gem reframed, Michelle Pfeiffer glowed as Catwoman, now gleams in grounded roles and clean-lined suits. Her posture holds poise, her gaze holds grit. While studio tides shifted, she chose reinvention over retreat, balancing blockbuster returns with clean beauty crusades. As Vicky Vale in Batman, Kim Basinger set the noir tone for a new kind of screen siren. Now 71, with pale waves and quiet defiance in her eyes, she no longer courts the spotlight. After battles with anxiety and Hollywood's harsh fade-out, she devotes her days to animal activism and painting, off-camera, but not unseen. Like a glacier formidable, slow to melt, Sigourney Weaver reshaped the terrain for women in sci-fi. At 75, she wears her silver hair like armor, still commanding presence without the exosuit. From alien to climate crusader, she now lends her voice to documentaries and raises awareness for the Earth she once saved on screen. From sprinting through horror and Halloween to striding across Oscar stages, Jamie Lee Curtis has never stood still. Now 66, cropped hair and punk jewelry signal a woman fully in her skin. She's ditched typecasting, embraced advocacy for recovery and inclusion, and became a late-blooming award winner on her own terms. Once the smoky-voiced siren of body heat, Kathleen Turner now walks slower, but talks stronger, her voice shaped by arthritis, her spirit sharpened by stage work and activism. Gone are red carpets, replaced by classrooms and curtain calls, where she teaches boldness over beauty. She once haunted dreams in King Kong and ruled hearts in Tootsie. Now Jessica Lange, with swept-back silver hair and a playwright's fire, picks roles with precision, favoring Broadway's intimacy over streaming's churn. Her legacy whispers through each line she now chooses to speak. Before we continue these amazing celebrity transformations, here's a quick challenge for you. Can you subscribe to Then vs. Now Legends in the next 5 seconds? Smash that subscribe button and join us on this journey through time with your favorite stars. Run, Forrest, run, she once cried, but it's Sally Field who's kept moving. From feathered hair and Oscar tears to candid memoirs and fierce advocacy, her walk is steadier now, her gaze clearer. No longer just America's sweetheart, she's its seasoned, defiant storyteller. Once the child prodigy and taxi driver and the stoic force of Silence of the Lambs, Jodie Foster now curates her presence like a rare film, intentional, layered, and sharp. At 62, with short silver blonde hair and professor-like poise, she directs, mentors, and speaks out on identity, truth, and the ethics of storytelling. She gave us Miranda Priestley, Sophie, and countless women we never forgot. At 75, Meryl Streep no longer chases roles, she chooses revolutions. Her hair's gone softer, her gaze more knowing, and her platform louder. Between climate summits and streaming scripts, she reminds, age only deepens the performance. Back then, she was the face of teenage angst in The Breakfast Club, with flaming hair and unsure smiles. Today, Molly Ringwald, 57, appears in indie films and essays, her auburn curls tamed, voice unmistakably firm. No longer just John Hughes' muse, she's a cultural critic and advocate for safer storytelling in Hollywood. In Working Girl, she climbed corporate towers in sneakers. Today, Melanie Griffith, with platinum waves and a reflective gaze, champions sobriety and women's causes. Once framed by flashbulbs, she now curates her life with intention. Less red carpet, more personal renaissance. From controversial beauty in the Blue Lagoon to Ivy League intellect, Brooke Shields evolved before our eyes. Now, with sleek hair and a sharp wit, she hosts podcasts, pens memoirs, and reclaims her narrative, teaching generations how to grow up on their own terms. She once rode horseback through The Outsiders, eyes blazing with youth. Now 60, Diane Lane's style is pared-down elegance, her choices more deliberate. She appears less frequently on screen, but when she does, it's layered roles that echo lived experience, not lost fame. Like seafoam fading from shore, Daryl Hannah drifted from splash stardom to quieter waters. Now 64, with flowing silver hair and a life rooted in sustainability, she lives off-grid, far from studio lights. Once a poster icon, she's now a filmmaker and eco-activist, proving you don't need Hollywood to make waves. From that unforgettable pool scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High to vanishing from fame's grip, Phoebe Cates-Klein rewrote her script. At 61, she keeps her raven hair natural and her public life minimal. Choosing family over flashbulbs, she runs a boutique in Manhattan, her legacy now defined by presence, not press. Flashback to Flashdance, Jennifer Beals, fierce and sweat-soaked, dancing for her future. Now 61, she balances activism and acting with quiet intensity. Her curls remain iconic, her roles more complex. She continues to spark change with intellect. From prom dresses and Back to the Future to a director's headset, Leah Thompson transformed her journey. Her red hair is now softer, her stride more seasoned, guiding young talent from behind a camera. Once a teen dream, now a quiet force shaping future frames. She wore Gen X rebellion like eyeliner in Heathers and Reality Bites. Now in her 50s, with a darker wardrobe and deeper roles, Winona Ryder trades 90s angst for Stranger Things cult acclaim, aging not out of relevance, but into richer, rarer resonance. In Ghost, she made spirits laugh. Now she sparks debate at a daytime desk. Whoopi Goldberg, with signature glasses and unwavering candor, has morphed from Oscar winner to cultural compass, her voice aging into authority, her legacy built on fearless reinvention. She gave rebellion a heartbeat in Thelma and Louise, redefining womanhood on the run. Now 78, Susan Sarandon's fire hasn't dimmed. It's refocused. With silver-streaked curls and a fierce gaze, she speaks at rallies, produces indie films, and calls out ageism, proving some revolutions don't end, they just evolve. Once a rising action star in Dark Angel and Fantastic Four, Jessica Alba ruled screens with sleek lines and stunt moves. Now 44, her image is polished but purposeful. Business attire replaces leather suits. She co-founded a billion-dollar wellness brand and shifted from scripts to strategy, redefining what leading lady means. Like a lighthouse amid shifting tides, Jennifer Aniston endures, glowing not from nostalgia, but resilience. At 56, the Friends icon wears tailored minimalism and speaks more softly, but with gravity. She now produces, champions mental health, and navigates a streaming age that once dismissed women past 40. She once ruled comedies with megawatt grins and There's Something About Mary. Now Cameron Diaz steps back in linen and sneakers, co-founding a clean wine brand and embracing motherhood. Fame's glow dimmed by choice, replaced with wellness, privacy, and purposeful pause. She once wielded pistols in Tomb Raider. Now she drafts policy and pens op-eds. Angelina Jolie, hair pulled back, voice calm but firm, transformed icon into advocate. Less tabloid chaos, more global cause. Her silhouette shifted, but the fire never left her frame. She gripped the bow of the Titanic, wind in her hair, shaping cinema's most famous silhouette. Now, Kate Winslet commands prestige dramas, her features fuller, her voice richer. She mentors young actors and demands realness, proof that artistry only deepens with time. Katana in hand, blood-soaked and barefoot, Kill Bill cemented Uma Thurman as vengeance incarnate. Now 55, with sleek blonde waves and an aura of quiet command, she's taken to producing and mentoring indie talent. Hollywood's pace has shifted, but she moves on her own terms, choosing impact over excess, depth over noise. As Cher in Clueless, she made plaid iconic and gave the 90s its voice. At 48, Alicia Silverstone keeps her blonde bob short, her activism bold. Now more often seen at climate panels than premieres, she's turned away from typecasting to raise her son, write books, and advocate fiercely for planet and plate. Like a grand piano, elegant, enduring, and powerful, Catherine Zeta-Jones commands from quiet spaces now. At 55, with jet black hair and regal posture, she balances acting with business and design. No longer the ingenue of Chicago, she's reorchestrated her rhythm for longevity over limelight. She once screamed through "I Know What You Did Last Summer." Now she writes heartfelt posts in cozy sweaters, raising kids and voicing empathy on screen. Jennifer Love Hewitt swapped glossy fame for grounded roles and real-life joys, aging gently, far from the frenzy. She once smoldered through Melina, every frame a painting. Now Monica Bellucci, with silver-flecked hair and couture grace, embraces art house roles and motherhood's quiet pride. Less screen time, more substance. She's a masterclass in maturing on her own, unapologetic terms. From storming screens as X-Men's Aurora to storming stages for change, Halle Berry, still fierce, now with silver-streaked curls and a producer's drive, champions inclusion. She doesn't chase the spotlight. She redirects it, blazing paths for others to rise behind her. Like a flamenco chord, fierce, layered, unshaken, Penelope Cruz remains a force of nature. At 51, with flowing brunette waves and a gaze that cuts deeper than ever, she toggles between Almodovar dramas and global campaigns. No longer cast as the exotic muse, she now crafts her legacy through language, motherhood. Once known for high-gloss roles in Wild Things and Starship Troopers, Denise Richards was the face of 1990s allure. Now 54, with softened features and a more grounded presence, she shifted into motherhood, wellness, and reality TV. She turned tabloid noise into resilience and stayed in the room, even when Hollywood moved on. From sassy in My Cousin Vinny to soulful in The Wrestler, Marissa Tomei has always kept audiences off balance. At 60, with shoulder-length curls and a voice now more measured, she blends Marvel cameos with stage returns. She stayed fiercely private, letting her work, not whispers, shape a career of quiet boldness. Once a lethal vision in Atomic Blonde, Charlize Theron now dons power suits behind the camera, producing stories that challenge norms. Her cropped hair and sharp gaze remain, but her mission shifted from screen siren to industry architect with a cause. She once defined the supermodel era with a single mole and unstoppable walk. Now, Cindy Crawford helms skincare lines and mentors the next wave, her silhouette still statuesque, her focus shifted from runways to reinvention. Fashion fades, but her influence still strides. From swimsuit covers to boardroom strategy, Kathy Ireland turned fame into fortune. With soft waves and steely resolve, she now leads a global brand empire. Once a face in beach lights, now a CEO reshaping industries, proof beauty was just the beginning. From sitcom rebel and Married with Children to sharp-witted leads, Christina Applegate's range once lit up primetime. Now 53, walking with support due to MS, she brings humor to hardship and defiance to decline. With cropped hair and piercing honesty, she's become a voice for disability visibility and raw, unscripted truth. As Dion in Clueless, Stacey Dash defined 90s glam with every eye roll and power suit. At 58, her polished style remains, but the roles have faded. Shifting to political commentary, she stirred debate more than applause. Though polarizing, she's claimed her narrative, unfiltered, unpredictable, and never background again. Remember Saved by the Bell's Kelly Kapowski, sun-kissed, center stage at every locker? Today, at 51, Tiffany embraces farm-to-table life, cookbook in hand, her brunette bob style for simplicity. Acting less, she's crafted a second act rooted in family, food, and authenticity. She rose to fame in American Pie, a symbol of late-90s teen allure. Now, Shannon Elizabeth trades red carpets for wildlife sanctuaries. Her style earth-toned, her mission global. Fame gave her a voice. She chose to use it for something far wilder than Hollywood. From teen charm in Who's the Boss? To spellcasting in Charmed, Alyssa Milano's path led her to activism. With cropped hair and a courtroom voice, she's become a fixture in advocacy. Less about scripts now, more about shaping real-world change. She once ruled slow-motion shores on Baywatch. Today, Carmen Electra, in sleek black and confident poses, revisits fame through nostalgia and entrepreneurship. She's not chasing youth, she's licensing it, proving savvy can outlast any spotlight. Once the red swimsuit icon sprinting across sandy shores in Baywatch, Yasmin Bleeth now keeps a quieter rhythm, trading slow-motion fame for slow mornings. With darker curls and a grounded presence, she stepped away from Hollywood's tide to rebuild on her own terms, far from the surf and spectacle. Like a kaleidoscope turning towards softer hues, Heather Graham evolved from Boogie Nights bombshell to indie auteur. The tousled blonde hair remains, but now she's penning scripts and championing female voices, shaping stories behind the camera where her imprint feels deeper, bolder, unmistakably hers. Amanda Woodward of Melrose Place taught a generation how to weaponize charm. Now at 63, Heather Locklear embraces gentler days, her sharp suit swapped for cozy knits. After public battles and private healing, she radiates resilience, living proof that reinvention can rise from even the hardest seasons. Like an oak shaped by storms, Glenn Close stands tall, her roles in Fatal Attraction and Dangerous Liaisons etched into cinematic history. Now with silver hair and commanding grace, she champions mental health awareness, proving that true legacy isn't measured in trophies but in truth. She once slayed vampires in leather boots and quippy defiance. Now Sarah Michelle Gellar crafts lunches and launches brands, juggling motherhood and business with Buffy's same fire. The blonde waves are softer, the stakes less literal, but her fight for creative control burns just as fierce. Once the ethereal Arwen of Lord of the Rings, Liv Tyler now moves through life with earthbound calm. Her raven hair frames a quieter elegance, far from elven lore. Balancing motherhood and sustainability work, she's rewritten her role, from fantasy icon to advocate for real-world change. As Sebastian in Cruel Intentions, Ryan Phillip defined brooding beauty for a generation. Now 50, he's traded tabloids for trail runs and independent thrillers. With salt in his stubble and clarity in his choices, he quietly crafts roles that favor depth over fame, distance over spotlight. Like a lighthouse surviving every storm, Neve Campbell rose from scream queen to sovereign artist. Now 51, with dark waves and centered grace, she navigates streaming scripts and steady family life. Behind her calm lies grit, a woman who outlasted the slasher era by writing her own ending. Once singing on stage in rhinestones and reality TV close-ups, Jessica Simpson now helms a fashion empire from boardrooms, not backlots. At 44, her blonde locks and bold vision remain, reframed by motherhood, sobriety, and business grit that outshines the gloss of her early aughts fame. Once dazzling premieres in Versace safety pins, Elizabeth Hurley now champions wellness and business with the same magnetic poise. At 60, her style is sleeker, her spotlight self-directed, balancing bikini lines with advocacy and proving reinvention can shimmer without red carpets. She made over prom queens and hearts, and she's all that. Now Rachel Lee Cook writes, produces, and raises kids. Less teen dream, more creative force. At 45, with a softer style and sharpened voice, she's reshaped her image on her own terms, far from the high school hallway lights. Like a diary left open and revisited, Danielle Fishel's journey from Boy Meets World to podcast producer reflects growth without erasure. At 44, her youthful spark remains, but now it's paired with purpose, motherhood, and a seat at the table behind the scenes she once performed on. She once sprinted in slow motion on Baywatch, Sunkissed, and Unstoppable. Now 52, Nicole Eggert runs a food truck and fights for survivors' rights, her blonde bob replaced by grit and grounded purpose. Hollywood may have turned a page, but she kept writing in bold, unscripted ink. Like a blade wrapped in silk, Isabel Huppert cuts through decades with elegance and intensity. At 72, her flame-red hair softens, but her performances burn hotter than ever. Eschewing celebrity for craft, she thrives in films that challenge, provoke, and leave no frame untouched by depth. Then versus Now Legends is feeling a bit lonely. 99% of you haven't subscribed yet. Show us some love and hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the jaw-dropping journeys of your favorite stars. And if you're as fascinated by then and now glow-ups as we are, check out our previous videos. Trust us, they're totally worth your time and ours too.